everybody. How are my stamping friends doing? Stamping friends, this is Caron Bailey, your independent demonstrator with Stampin Up. I am the ATX Stampin' Lady. Guys, thanks for joining me here in the craft room for the return of Roll of the Die. Woohoo! Who's excited with me? I wish I had some clapping noises or something. Roll of the Die is where I get to play, I get to be creative, and sometimes I get to be out of the box. You guys. So here are the dies that we're going to roll and play with. And so what happens is I'm going to put all of these dies in a big old bag, shake them up, roll them out, and whatever comes out is the kind of card that we are going to have to create today. Give me just a moment. Oops. Sorry, you guys, when you are doing this stuff by yourself, it takes a moment. You just have to run everything yourself as if you are a, what is that called? You're the director, the producer, the actor. You are everything. And that's what I am. Let me just take a few minutes to share across my socials to make sure that folks can join us and see what's going on. Anyway, we're back today. Roll of the Die, like I said, is an event where we create based upon what the elements of these dies share with us. Okay, on each of these 5 blocks, there's a different elements in card making. Here's some technique or some texture things that you can have, things that you can use. There's some colors in here. There's some techniques listed on here. There's themes, etc., etc. And so what we have to do is we have to create, we being me, based upon what these dies roll. Now, the only thing I know for sure, at least in my brain, without having seen any of this, is that I want to work with a suite of products called Gathering Moments. Now, Gathering Moments is part of a suite collection. It's an online exclusive item, and it includes a stamp and die bundle. It includes designer series paper, some ribbon, or twine really, and an embossing folder. So the first thing we got to do is shake up our dies. Give them a good shake. And there we go. So our dies have rolled. We got to do some coloring. We've got it's congratulations in the Regal family, designer series, foil, etc. And we have to have bling. Okay. So this is a, what do you call this? What do we call this stamp? This is a, I don't remember the word, distinctive stamp. So once we stamp this is already going to be in color. So that's going to take care of itself. The colors in the Real family, so that's going to take care of our coloring element. That's how we're going to add color. The colors in the Regal family include Cherry Cobbler, Real Red, Cajun Craze, Old Olive, Crushed Curry, Garden Green, Shaded Spruce, Pretty Peacock, Blueberry Bushel, and Gorgeous Grape. Those are the colors in the family. And then, of course, we have to add bling. Now, I'm just ready to get started. I'm going to leave these right up here to help me, to help keep me in mind of what needs to be done. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we got to add designer series paper, right? So in this collection, we have the designer series paper, and I have some that I cut from last night for another project that I was creating for. Hold on, let me find whatever's left over. Actually, let's just start from scratch because there was some in there that I had not used. So let's do that. And the designer series paper is called gathering together. It's a 12 by 12 specialty designer series paper. Now what makes this a specialty paper is that the front side of all of the designs include some gold foiling in it. Okay, so here are the designer series papers. This one we haven't seen. This one we saw. Here's this one right here. And here's the last one. Now, in this Regals, we have the Cajun Craze is the only color, and Basic Beige are the two colors. So because I kind of want to have more of the Regals, I'm going to go with this sheet to create. I already cut one, so I'm going to use this one. Oh yeah, there's this and this. So we'll use that one. It's already cut. And we'll bring in the old olive with inks and things of that nature. So the next thing I want to decide to do is, well, what kind of card am I going to make? Am I going to make, what kind of card am I going to make? I don't know that, right? So now that my DSP, my designer series paper is chosen, I've got to decide what my card base will be, if I'm going to layer, what that's going to be. So let's take a look and see. So this is some ivory or very vanilla, right? Can you see the very vanilla on here? And then this is our basic beige. I like the very vanilla. The very vanilla picks up and highlights a lot of the colors. So I'm going to work with my very vanilla. Now, what am I going to do with my very vanilla? Is that going to be my card base, or is that going to be a matting or a highlighting? Again, not sure. All right, let's take a look and see what's coming to mind in terms of what do we want to do with this. All right, I'm still thinking. I'm still thinking. All right, so what I'm going to come up with a very simple card, right? So I'm going to trim my very vanilla, and I'm going to trim this down to, let's trim it down to 4 by 5 1/4. Well, so I'm going to do my DSP at 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm going to cut my very vanilla to 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. I'm going to do a very simple design here, you guys. Right, so let's keep this here, and then I'm going to cut this down to 3 3/4 by 5. Actually, we're just going to do a 3 3/4 square, right? And then what I'm going to do with this 3 3/4 square, like I said, this is going to be very simple, right? Let's cut this on the diagonal, making sure to start right there. And I'm building this as I go, right? Remember we cut this to 4 by 5 1/4, I believe, right? Or 3 7/8. Yeah. So, but I want to do, I'm going to cut this to 3 3/4 by 5. Because I want a mat. I always want a mat. If you do nothing else, I mat, right? So we'll have this here. And this will go here. Okay, perfect. And then what I want to do is I'm going to mat it with, I don't have anything here at my desk, so let's grab a little bit of old olive and we're going to cut that. So we're going to keep the basic beige as our, I'm not sure yet. So let's keep thinking, right? All right, so we also have Cajun Craze. So let's go grab some Cajun Craze. I have some right here, I believe. Nope, that's not Cajun Craze. That's Cherry Cobbler. Oh, but I like that. What do you think? I like the Cherry Cobbler with it. So we're going to keep Cherry Cobbler. So we're going to make the Cherry Cobbler 4 by 5 1/4. Outside of our card base, and we haven't figured that out 100% yet, that's what we're going to do. Now I'm going to look for a piece of gold foil because that idea just hit me. So hold on a second. And I'm just going to cut I'm going to cut maybe about 1/4 inch maybe, because I just need just a little bit of it. So 2 strips, 1/4 inch each. The beauty of doing a roll of the die type of card making is that really it stretches your imagination, and you kind of just have to figure it out, you know what I mean? Based upon what the die has said. Ooh, I might want to layer that and that. Let's see how that'll work. Do I want to put that here, the closest to the gold, or do I want to make the Cherry Cobbler closest and then matte with the gold? And I'm just doing that because I want to incorporate the highlight. I think I like the Cherry Cobbler closest to the cardstock, followed by the foil. I think that's what I like better, right? I think that's what I like. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this to each of the sheets, each of the pieces, is I'm going to put just a quick layer, a little layer of liquid adhesive. I'm going to layer this on here just like that. Trying to keep it somewhat straight, right? And then I'm going to put a layer right on here. So I'm going to put the layer adhesive. Liquid adhesive usually doesn't work very well on the foils, so we'll see how that goes. If we need to switch it out, we can do that, right? So I'm just gonna put this right on here. I want a little bit, gotta be able to see the gold, just like that. And we're gonna let that sit and marinate. And we're gonna do it again. We need a longer sheet of this one, and just a sliver. So maybe about 1/4 inch. It's got to be longer than you need, because you never know what you will need, right? You never know. And then again, we're going to add some adhesive. Alright, just a little strip of it. Add it to the gold, add the gold to it, whichever way you look at it, right? And that's how simple it is to create, you guys. So you can create based upon whatever the die tells you, something really, really complicated. You can do something really simple, but there's so many different things. It's just designed to help get you, if you happen to be in a creative rut, to help you get out of that rut and design something beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid adhesive here. Now this has to be congratulations. All the time I'm doing this, I'm actually thinking about, well, what do I have? Obviously, I don't have a congratulations there's nothing congratulations in this particular stamp set, so I'm definitely going to have to pull another stamp set, guys. All right, here we go. To come up with our sentiment. And then we are just going to cut the excess off like that. And like that. This guy's going to go here. Add our liquid adhesive. We're just giving it time for that other one to dry and get good adhesive coverage. And because we're using liquid glue, we always have the luxury of a little bit of extra time just to make sure that we get everything in place. Okay, that's one. And then we're going to trim this again like we did before. Turn this around, and we're going to trim edges, right? So let's not get wrapped around the axle on that one. And then we're going to know I miss doing roll of the die. So roll of the die started as me individually doing just like I'm doing right now. And then it expanded where I invited other demonstrators to participate. And for a while that was working, and then everybody had lives. And we just got busy. And so we took a little bit of a break from it, and now I'm back. I would love to have other demonstrators join me, but it is not going to be a requirement. It's not going to be something that anybody else has to do it. If you would like to be invited, just reach out to me, and we can get it going. Right? Okay, so we have that. And then we're going to just mat this on our base, on our panel, right? Now, I don't like to waste, so I'm just going to go grab a punch of some sort. It doesn't really matter to me which punch I grab. I just want to be able to save the center of this, because I'm sure I would be able to use a piece of cherry cobbler cardstock for some other purpose. So I'm going to go just punch that out. Now I'm going to punch one here, and I save these to be used at a later date and time. Okay? That way we waste not, want not, right? And I just punched the 2-inch circle punch. And then I'll add a little bit of adhesive around the circle. And then, if I remember, I'm just going to do adhesive on the outside. Y'all know I generally do an X marks the spot. Right? That's generally what I do. Then we're going to lay this right on here. Right on here. Okay? So I'd already die cut some of the some images from the stamp set. So I have those that can be used. I stamped a couple more out, so I'm gonna, for time's sake, although I'm probably just gonna fussy cut some of these out because it'll be fast to do that. Alright. Maybe 2 of these. There are dies for this, it just, I am choosing to fussy cut them at this time rather than bring out the rather than bring out my what else am I going to need in here? My cut and emboss machine. Let's use this guy right here. What else color? What other colors do I not have in here? I have green. Okay. I have one. Alright, so let's just fussy cut some of these out, and we're going to make this as quick as we possibly can. And just a little bit of tips as far as fussy cutting is concerned. Of course, you know the tip with that is that we use our non-dominant hand to rotate the cardstock that you're cutting or the paper that you're cutting. You tend to get as close as you can when you're fussy cutting. When I use that technique, I generally like a little bit of the cardstock showing, and I try to keep it like that, and it's manageable when I use the technique. Okay, you can otherwise, you know, move the scissors, but I find that when you move the snips or the scissor, you tend to have a little bit more jagged edges and corners when you do it that way than if you just use your non-dominant hand. Okay, so that's one. And you can always tell. I can, anyway, when I adjust. Anybody got a busy week coming up? So I used to do roll of the die on the first Sundays of every month. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the first Sundays anymore. I'm going to take a look at my schedule, but I do miss them, so I am going to come back with doing roll of the die. I just haven't decided on what month I'm going to do them. That's 2. I don't think I need 3, but we'll see. And I chose to fussy cut these because I know they were simple images. And so they'd be relatively quick to cut out. I only did one? I thought I did more, another acorn. 1, 2, 1. So I am going to cut another acorn. And this one, I'm going to go with the yellow. So off camera, now that these are all stamped out in different colors, I am going to, off camera, I'm going to die cut them out and save them for creating more fall cards. They're already die cut and ready to go. Now when I'm thinking about the sentiment, you know, in my mind I could be like, I'm just looking for the word congratulations. You don't really have to be that technical about it. You know, just think of some other words that you use when you're telling someone congratulations about something. You know, you did an awesome job, you know, great job, congratulations. You know, just think of other words, phrases that you can, so that way if you don't have something specifically that says congratulations, you'll have something close that renders the same sentiment. Alrighty, I'm not seeing any comments, so if you are commenting, I apologize for not responding. I am not seeing any comments. If you are commenting, leave me a message. Let me know how you found me. If you are a long-time viewer, thank you for coming back. Oh Lord, thank you for that. My little girl, I won't call her name because I don't want to activate her. She's giving me a little reminder. Alright, so we have our parts and pieces cut out. So now the next thing is to really figure out what sentiment we're going to use. Now, the sentiments in this are many thanks, your friendship means the world to me, thankful for you, expressing heartfelt gratitude. I don't really see anything that's quote-unquote congratulations in my mind. So I'm going to see what else we have. Oh, way to go. I like that. So we're gonna stamp this guy out. Way to go. Just see. This is also, I believe this is this is in the annual catalog. It's called, is it 2526? And we're gonna go ahead and stamp this guy right out. Now, I haven't used a lot of green, so I'm gonna stamp this out in, I'm thinking several different things, right? What I'm thinking is I can heat emboss it in gold. I can heat emboss it in black. I think I'm going to heat emboss it in brown. That's what I think I'm going to do. Now let me grab my Versamark ink. If I can find it. There it is. And I'm just going to use the Versamark to prime my ink color, right? Because it's a new stamp. I haven't used it. And photopolymer does, in most cases, I would highly encourage you to prime your photopolymer stamp for the first use. Okay? And all that does is kind of help you to keep your, to get a clearer, crisp stamp. I primed it pretty well. Alright, let's go ahead and heat emboss our sentiment. I'm going to make a little bit of noise here. Hold on. And as the powder melts, the embossing powder melts, you'll see that it changes color from that white over color to its natural color, okay? And all I do is I chase the powder. That's what I call it, chasing the powder. I'm not going to do a third. I just did two. Now guys, this looks like the 2-inch punch that we just punched this guy out is going to work. Looks like it is. So let's see. Oh, it's almost perfect. Right? So here we go. We're going to punch this out. And I do want to keep that border around there, but it seems like maybe a 1 3/4 inch punch might work as well. I think I'm going to offset this like this. Right? This is me just deciding and designing as I go. Now all of this I'm going to do before I adhere this to the card front. But I just want to make sure that I have somewhat of an idea where I want things to go. Okay, so how does that look? And you don't have to use it all. I'm going to take a picture of it because I can see it a little bit clearer, because I'm looking at it from a different angle, and so I can't necessarily see what it looks like. Okay, so that's the first thing. I do like the way my circles are, right? So first things first is we're going to adhere our circles. All right, and I love that there was a piece down here, and I love that there was the other up here. Okay, and sometimes it's easier to burnish it from the back. Let me put this away because I'm gonna do if I can find it, my tape runner, but I don't know where my tape runner is, so I'm just gonna use, let's use glue dots. Okay, so when we had this here, we're gonna put our first image right here like that. And so in order to do that, grab some glue dots, and the glue dot's going to go on the front like that of the image, right? And so we had it like this in the center, and our glue dot's going to go about there. Okay, that's how I position, right? It may have different ways for other people, but that's how I do my positioning. Okay, then the next thing is the same one on this side. So let's take a look and see if we have this one right here. Where's this one gonna go, right? Gonna have this one kitty corner just like that, and do the same thing. One and two. Okay. Uh-oh, I just made a miss because my glue dot didn't come off right. Let's go ahead and put them on again. One and two. Okay. Then we're going to reposition it again because we want it to go like this. And so now we're going to just put this right here. Okay, so that's that. Then we're going to add all the others to this. Okay. And at this point, we are just decorating our focal image. That's all we're doing at this point, right? Now we did coloring with the distinctive stamp. That's how we added the color. used our Regal colors. We added our designer series paper. Congratulations, we're saying way to go. And now we're just gonna add some of these guys. Yeah, to fill some of the gaps in here. Let's grab one of these, like that. And before we do that, I'm gonna put, let's grab some. Dimensions. That. Then we're going to add some dimension here. Now I'm making sure I put my dimensionals strategically to help reinforce where I already had the joining, right? Getting ready. This is a busy week. I've got to do, what are we doing this week? On Saturday is the City of Austin's City Olympics. The city's pretty big on wellness for its employees. And so the City Olympics is just an event where there's all kinds. I'm going to do the walk, but there's golf. There's all sorts of activities that you can participate in. And so a group of my friends, those of us that are in the Slowest Shell walking group, we're going to walk the 5K together. Some are also going to do the kickball. Some are going to do the volleyball tournament. There's just so much to do. So we're almost done decorating with the card front and really have to decide what color card base we're going to go with. I think I want to do early espresso. What do you think? All right, so let's do that. Let's make sure this is relatively straight. And our card front is finished. And then we're going to just add some more of the fussy cut pieces out to finalize it. And before I do that, I'm going to add some shimmer and shine to make sure that we have some bling. This is process number 1 for adding some bling. I should have changed my, I should have wiped it off before, but that's okay. Okay, so that's bling number 1. And then I think I don't want to use all of them, but I do want to incorporate these acorns. I do want to do that. So let's do it, since that's what I want to do. And none of this is planned, you guys. You saw me roll the die, and this is just how creativity works. You got the roll of the die, and it said this is the elements you have to use in your process. And then from there, you kind of just go whatever direction you're wanting to go in and see what happens. said, I might not use them all, but I'm still using them all, right? Waste not, want not. So guys, here's a thought for you guys. These cards that I create in Roll of the Die, I do like to give them away. So for the first person, that if you comment on the video that you have liked a video, shared, hashtag like, hashtag share, by the next live video, you will be eligible to win, to be the recipient of this card, okay? Boom. All right. Gonna add a little bit more of the Sparkle Shine to the elements that did not have Sparkle Shine. And then the moment of truth has arrived. Let's see. I think, because I haven't used a lot of the Old Olive, I'm going to go with an Old Olive card base. So let me go grab a piece of Old Olive. And then we can make that. Oh, see, look at what that would do to this. Doesn't that brighten, spark that a little bit more? Just by using that little touch of green, it picks up so much more. So well, maybe we could just matte with it and then put it on some basic white, or that's exactly what we're gonna do. This is 4 by 5 1/4, so I'm gonna trim this to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then I'm going to put this on Basic Beige as my card base. So we're going to score the Basic Beige at 4 1/4. Cut it at 5 1/2. To create our card base. Okay. All right. Let's put this card together and we'll be done. Again, so that I don't waste, I'm going to punch this out, save it, because I might be able to reuse it. Now, normally I would add another layer of dimensions, but I'm finding that because I do use a lot of dimensions and foam tape in my projects, that I've had in the last couple of weeks, a lot of cards that I've sent out come back from the post office for not enough postage, and so it's becoming quite a bit of an issue to use as much foam tape as I usually do. So I find that I am minimizing how much of it I use in my projects these days. But I'm feeling the need to add some dimension for a little bit of height here. But I think I'm good, and I won't do it in this instance. And then, I don't know where my pin is, so let's just close this up. Add some foam tape or a liquid glue on this one, and then we'll call this card complete. That's what I mean when I told you I do X marks the spot, right? And how I add liquid glue. So when you're doing this on when you actually punch your circles out or whatever your shape is, you just have to be extra careful as to how you adhere it. That's all. Apply the liquid glue. Okay. I am gonna put some bling on here because even though I do use liquid, I did use the Wink Stella as my element. I kind of want some more bling on there, so let me see if I could just find some basic rhinestones or something, and utilize it in this project. Oh, these colors are perfect. Grab a, is that my pick tool? Nope. I want one right about there. And in the rule of three, that's where it's a rule of three, but it's odd numbers, right? Can't say we did not use any bling in this project. One more. Let's just hide this one in there. And just like that, guys, we have created our card today based upon the elements ruled by the die. Let me see if you can see it a little bit better. Right? If we do that. Can you see it better? Not so much of a glare. And so we've got way to go for our congratulations. Our colors are reed gold. We had DSP and foil. We had bling. And we did our coloring with our distinctive stamp. Take a look at that. Guys, thanks for joining me here in the craft room for a roll of the die. I will see you next month for another episode of Roll of the Die. And thanks for popping in. If you are a current subscriber with me, thanks for sticking with me. I know I took a little bit of a hiatus. Thanks for sticking with me. If you are new to my channel, please, please, please subscribe to my channel. I promise you, you will not be disappointed by following me and watching my videos. Guys, on that note, guys have a great day and happy stamping. Bye-bye now.